Hello everyone, and thank you for watching my video. I hope you guys had a lovely Happy New Year's. I certainly had a great one. I'm gonna cut right to the chase so that you guys can know what this video is about. I'm mostly gonna be going over my New Year's resolution. Things I want to change, things I want to do, you know? That kind of stuff. I also want to go over some of my plans for Pulse and explain my thought process and the things I want to do, the things I wish I could do but can't do, and the things that I might do, because I feel as though I would like to tell you guys that, and I feel as though you guys deserve to know at least what it is exactly I want to do for the game, right? So you guys can have answers towards like, oh, this is something he said he wants to do, but it's not something that he's doing now because he doesn't have time. At least let you guys be aware, right? So that is what this video will be going over, and if you guys don't want spoilers for Pulse development, I would suggest, you know, not watching this video. Anyways, now that anybody who doesn't want to see spoilers is out, let's go over my New Year's resolution. By the way, I hope you all had a lovely Happy New Year's. Not sure if I said that yet. I'm kind of terrible with knowing what I said and didn't say, because sometimes I'll think it in my head and not actually say it, and then wonder if I did that later on. But I think personally, my New Year's resolution is to be more... Yeah, I know I'm gonna get a lot of looks like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I want to be more productive. I want to do more. I feel as though there's a lot of times that I can do something that I don't do it. You know? Kind of like just wasting time. And that's something I'm gonna curb down a lot of. And I know it's like, oh, but you can have a break, and I understand that. But sometimes you have responsibilities as well, and sometimes you're not supposed to take a break. And I am aware of that. So I would like to take less time fucking around on the internet and spend more time doing the things that matter more, you know? So by going on that note, I suppose I could say that the things I want to do more is Pulse development, talking to my family, talking to my friends more, and being there, not necessarily in the sense of like, oh, I'll go and I'll like do this, and no, I mean like in the sense of like at least be more receptive, because normally I'm like usually busy, so what I'll do is I'll open up a DM and then quickly, like if I'm like in the moment, because I have like curiosity, it's like, okay, I can't respond right now, but I want to know what they said. So I'll go and I'll open the DM, read it, and be like, okay, so I'll respond to this later, and then I'll leave the DM, and now there's no more, now there's not a single DM notification anymore, so it's like nothing's there left to remind me. So I want to stop doing that and actually like either respond or just leave it so that when I fucking can have time to respond, I'll do that, right? But yeah, I'm hoping to visit all my family this year, and I don't mean just like my mother's side, I mean like everybody. I'm hoping that this year I can go to Brazil and visit my aunts, visit my uncles, you know, and visit my cousins. I have a lot of cousins, aunts, and uncles in Brazil. It's like an insane amount. Yeah, I want to visit all of them. So hopefully by the end of the year, I have worked enough to get 2 months off, which is like a lot of time, I know. But I really hope that I can just like take 2 months away, go to Brazil and visit all my family members, you know. They played a huge part in my childhood, and they deserve they deserve it, you know. I should go and visit them and give them the time that they deserve, because they love me and I love them too, you know. And it's the right thing to do, is to spend time with your family, and do the same for my mother. At least I'm not as bad feeling from her. I feel bad that I don't visit her as often, obviously, right? But you know, for my family in Brazil, it's my dad pointed it out to me, and it scared me. He was like, "It's been 7 years," and it's like, yeah, it's been 7 years, you know. And it's like you don't think about it when you're like going through life, but man, it's been 7 years. I need to visit them. It's insane. you know. But I've been really caught up in the work because I don't want to like leave you guys hanging either. I feel as though I owe it to you guys as well, you know? Hi, buddy. So this year, my New Year's resolution is to do more on Pulse. Do enough so that at least by like the end of the year, right? At least by the end of the year, I have put enough stuff in the game, enough content, that I can take 2 months off and not have to worry about it. That is my plans at the moment. And maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll have like some accessories that I'll like make before that break happens so that I can like release them in a slow drip. You know, I think that would probably be more fair to you guys. So it's not a complete emptiness, you know, for 2 months. But yeah, I want to visit every family member, right? So my brother, my mom, sister, right? My other brother, well, that's easy though. I visit him all the time. My love, I want to visit everyone. I do want to visit everyone. So I think that is like the main priority on my New Year's resolution, is to do enough work so that I can have the opportunity to do all those things I want to do. Right? Now, Pulse. Now we'll get into Pulse development. So, you know, I might as well like raise this open. I had a whiteboard here, but I don't think I'll end up using it. So it is what it is. But I think Pulse is in a interesting spot right now because there's a lot that can be added to it, but in terms of features, I think we're finally reaching the end. Not in the sense of like, oh, there will never be any more features. There's always going to be more features. But I think in terms of like for Pulse's like main concept, I think we're reaching the end because we don't have like in terms of features that I've myself want, right? I don't think there's that much left. It's still a lot of work, don't get me wrong, right? It's not like I'm gonna go and complete this in one day. That's never gonna happen because I'm a singular developer. I'm not gonna have the godly mental state to do so, even though I'll stream for like 12 hours in a row and make a fidget spinner forms thing. But hey, to be honest, that fidget spinner form thing is cool. Maybe you'll get lucky and I'll just like Photoshop it in here with like I know I said no video editing, but maybe I'll put in like a single fidget spinner like right here for like entertainment kind of thing. Yeah, so I think Pulse is an interesting spot because now it's like properly both a game and a roleplay. Because if you want to focus on the gameplay aspect, you can go and do the trials, you can go and do the NPCs, you can do the little side quests, you can do the Easter egg hunt, which is all the swords. That, to me, is a game. There's enough hours worth of content in Pulse, in my opinion, to consider it as a game, right? Like, if I was a kid, I would probably spend, like, 4 days to do 100% on everything. And that, to me, even though 4 days is like, oh, it's just 4 days. For me, I think that's enough, because, like, that's how games used to be back then. Well, there's a lot of games that used to last longer, right? Twilight Princess. I still intend on adding way more, anyhow, right? New trials and whatnot. But for now, you know, I would like to consider it as a game as well as a roleplay. Because if you don't want to play the game, you can go and meet friends, get your friends together, and roleplay around. However, that now, because it's both a game and a roleplay, it's kind of hard to find people who want to roleplay. So that becomes an issue. And that leads us to my first desire for what I want to add, right? I want to add in a RP finder system. Let me just type that out. Right, because with an RP finder, if you can't find anybody who's ready to roleplay, who wants to roleplay, you can at least, like in your server, you can at least go to a server where somebody does want to roleplay. Right, so the point of the RP finder is it'll just be like a UI menu that you can open up. It'll let you create tags and also let you join tags. And a tag is basically like you click on a section to create one, and it'll let you put in a title for the roleplay. It'll let you put in the map that you want to roleplay on. It'll let you put in a description of what the roleplay will be, and there'll be tags as well, so you can like include like horror and etc., so that people can search by tags. And you can put that out, and it'll last until you leave the server that you're currently in. So when you leave the server you're in, it will get rid of that tag, right? And for those who want to find, you can obviously go into the search bar. You can either search by the newest, which is going to be the default. It's going to be the newest tags first. That's the default. Or you can go and search by specific maps that people want to roleplay in, etc., etc. That way, we can at least have a little bit of an easier communication between role players, so that the people who want to play the game can go play the game, but the role players who want to roleplay with each other can find each other in the servers that they're looking for each other in, right? There are also this is a feature I want to add. I'm not sure if I'll have the time to add it, but if I can add it, I want to add a feature where you can also create an empty server for a tag. Not a VIP server, it'll be a public server. It'll just create a public server that no one's in, and it'll let you go into it'll automatically create you the IP tag for that. So that IP tag, the server tag, so that people can join your server. That way, you know, if you want to do an RP and you're afraid of like people not being able to join your server, that's how you can do it. And then obviously there will be like search by name, so that your friends can search by your name and all that. So I'll definitely incorporate all of that into it for ease of access. Now, the first things first that I want to do for Pulse, which is the current thing I'm doing on stream right now, is the UI update. Why? Because I wanted to make the chat update. So, what happened? Initially, I was planning to just do the magic update. I was planning to just skip through all of this and do the magic update. Why? Because I know everybody wanted magic. I wanted it too. I even had it all created and I was ready. It was gonna come out. And then Roblox made a giant dev forum announcement. Guys, we need you to update all of your chats that are custom. If you have a custom chat, you must update it now. And I'm just like, that's like the worst thing that can happen for me. So I'm like, okay. I'll do it. I go to work on the chat update. Right, so my plans was to do the chat update and then the magic update, and then to do the UI update, which comes with the RP Finder, right? So I go to do the chat update, and I realize, oh shit, some of the features in the chat update rely on customization of the chat. So changing the chat's window size, being able to color it, being able to customize it in the sense of putting an image on the background. So if you want a little bit of a more customized chat, you can. I thought that was a little bit of a nice thing. Things like that. There was also an RP mode, and people got confused by what that meant. RP mode just turns the usernames into the RP names. So if your username is Sugium, and your OC happens to be Jericho Stevens, in the chat it'll appear up Jericho Stevens with the OC's name color as well. So that's what RP mode is. It's just to help you immerse yourself into the RP more so that you can play around with that. But because of all of those features I wanted to added, I realized I needed to change the settings, and as well, since you can color the chat, it would only be fair to be able to color the UI elements around the chat. Okay, all the UI. So I went and obviously did all that. I went and recreated the main menu system, and I created some things that I wanted for it along the way as well. So you can now put in any OC you want on the title screen, right? And you'll have some save slots for that. So you'll be able to customize the title screen with, I'm hoping to get at least 4 preset maps, but it's probably just going to be 3 for the release. And you'll be able to put your OCs there. You can select an emote for them, and it'll be all good. You can change the colors of all the buttons, all the UI elements, the text. It's a very nice customization for all of the UI. I added a new organized menu so that you can organize all of your files and the forms within them and move them around so that if you want Sonic on file 1, you can have Sonic on file 1. If you want Sylvester's form 2 to be its own file, you can go and do that as well without having to copy and paste, so you don't have to worry about that. I changed the entire menu select, so now your OC's icons will show up there, so you know which OC you're looking at when you select it. It has a nice little effect, so you can hover over it. And yeah, and that's been going well. Right now, I'm currently recreating most of the UI elements, so that's what you saw me doing on the stream last time, which was the forms spinning fidget spinner. Mostly, I'm trying to make the UI elements more easier to access. The forms just got lucky because that just happened to be fun, right? But yeah, so I'm going to currently recreate the shop menu as well to be easier. My plans for the shop is to have you be able to see how much money you have more accurately. There's like a bug currently where sometimes it'll show 1 million for no reason instead of loading. But what I want to do is make it so that when you go into the shop to purchase items, it tells you how much of that item you own, so it's easier for you to identify. Any item you don't have all of the amount for, as in like there is like the horn set. I know everybody knows about the horn set where it has like 4 separate segments. Basically, if you only have one piece of all those segments, it'll still show up at the top. But any item you have fully completed in terms of collecting all the pieces for, it'll go all the way to the bottom, and the items you don't have will go up to the top, just so you can find them easier, and the items you never had before, for a nice little search. That way you can just like go through it. I'm also going to probably focus on doing more UGC this year. I'm going to implement a shop impulse so that you can find UGC items a lot easier, as well as like different variants and shades, so that I also get money and you guys can have some nice items that you can wear in different Roblox games. And then after all of that, I'll probably, let me see, there was something else I wanted to, right, the RP finder. So after all of that, right, this re-implementing the settings, re-implementing all that, I'll do the chat update, which is the chat system. I'll make the new chat system, make it all nice, make it all work well. It's gonna be great, trust me, it's in development, right? Some of y'all seen what I wanted for it. There'll be a lot of rich text involved so that you guys can make nice rich text characters. It's gonna be great. And now the RP finder. I'm gonna make that RP finder system that I mentioned. So UI update, which is all that stuff I mentioned, chat update, RP finder menu, and then the magic update. Now, I forgot that I wanted to mention a different feature because there's a lot of things I want to do that I just like I don't have time for. But if I have time, there is one thing I want to do after the RP finder, and it's something people have requested so many times that I just kept saying no, not because I didn't want to, but because I cannot say yes to requests, because especially requests that I have currently planned, because 2 outcomes tend to happen. 1, people think I'm accepting requests, and that's like, that is a nightmare scenario for me specifically because I'm alone in the development of this game. If I accept 1 request, people are going to think I'm accepting requests and flood me with requests, and I cannot keep up with that. I am a single person. I cannot keep up with it. Pulse is a game that reached 1,200 players the other day. Imagine if every single player there just thought that that they could just ask for anything and I'll put it in on the spot, right? It's something I cannot keep up with. That's why I say no. However, what I will say is, I'll tell you my plans, at the least, so you guys know what I want to do. So that being said, to all of you guys who requested it, I will be trying to make a UI setting for the old menu. Not the old main menu, sorry. The old in-game menu, right? The old side menu. So you'll have classic menu and simplified menu. That way, if you guys like that giant chunk on the side, you guys can have that. But it will basically be a toggleable option. It's not going to be the default, obviously. I think the simplified top bar menu buttons are a bit better for roleplay scenarios so you can see more. But, you know, I understand some people want their nice little fancy gimmicks. So I'll give that. Now, after I do that, and I'm not promising it's going to come out in this update. I'm saying if there's time, I will. It's something I want to do. Something I'm not promising because I can't promise these. There's only so much time in my life. But if I am able to be more productive, I can give you these things. Right? Anyhow, after that will be the magic update. That's going to be very nice. However, the magic update has now been modified. There's a few things I want to do with the magic update, right? So by modified is, I mean to say, it'll no longer just be auras, right? Because there will be auras in the magic update, but I want to implement some features for the magic update, which involve quality of life customization menu features. So what are quality of life customization features? I want to see if there's an easier way for me to make it so that you guys can find the parts that you want to put on your OCs and select them better and see what things would look like without having to fussle with it too much. I want to see if there's a way that I can put in like descriptions for them. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if that's gonna work because it, you know, there's only so much space, so I have to think about it tough. I have to think about it a lot to see how I can shove so much things. But you know what? We'll get there. I'm sure there will be some way I'll figure out. I want to reinvent the accessory select menu so that there's a proper search bar for it. There's a search bar right now, but categorize these things. So like like by placements, right? Back, head, body, other, right? Things like that, just so that you can locate things a lot better, right? So face stuff, head stuff, you know? I think that would be much more kind to the majority of the players who are trying to find accessories to use, right? Now, another thing I wanted to do is recreate the name and bio system. It'll pretty much be the same, but maybe have like 2 new cards in there for people who want those 2 new cards. And then as well, make the menu look nice, make it more cleaned up, have any color, because I know there's like a preset colors list. I want all colors to be there, so you can use all the colors for the name and bio. I want to change how the tags are, so I want there to be tags that you can unlock. Alright, so that's going to be its own thing for the customization thing, is the tag system. So tags will have things that you can unlock, right? Obviously. So by that I mean like you'll be able to have hero, neutral, and evil by default, right? And if you do certain things, maybe you unlock anti-hero, maybe you unlock the explorer, you can unlock the gardener, you can unlock dark mage or stuff like that, you know, knight, soldier, just like a shit ton of like classes as well in the tag system, just for like that cool little in chat system that'll make people happy, right? So I want to see if I can do that. I also want to change how coloring the tags work. I wanted the names to be more colorable and to have it more nice for players who wanna, specifically for VIP, so that VIP has a little bit more customization within it. It'll make them happier. So that's something I'll do for them. Yeah. And after the magic update, you know, so that is basically what the magic update will be. Oh, you sweet thing. But that is basically what the magic update will be. It'll be more tags, it'll be all the auras that you can unlock, it'll be the quality of life customization features, basically cleaning up the whole customization menu, making it customizable like the main menu, and all those things. All those sweet little things that'll make it more ease of access for customizing your characters. Right? You're such a child. You're such a child. You're such a child. But yeah. And after the magic update, will most likely be either it'll probably definitely be Content Mania. So Content Mania update is the update where I'll just be giving you guys a bunch of customization options and accessories and animations. It is just an update solely focused on let's just keep pushing in items. As much items as I can. Right? And this will probably be around the time that I'll do Stream 200 as well. Because Stream 200 is an entire list of accessories and customization options. Basically. What Stream 200 is I will be doing a stream where people can officially request, but you'll have to pay for it. Please understand. So I don't quite know how I'll do it yet, but it'll be through donations. So you'll donate and you'll put what you want as an item. I think the first 5 will be free. So the first 5 people in the chat will get it for free on my stream perspective. So I will show my chat. Whoever I see first will basically get the permission to do so for free. And then everyone else would have to probably, at a starting price, probably do at like $5 per model. And then as maybe like after another 10 come in, I'll increase it to $10. And then as another 10 come in, I'll increase it again. And just keep doing that. Because honestly, what I did last stream was hell on earth. And it was just too much. I don't want to go through that same pain without compensation. I hope you understand. But yeah, so that'll be Content Mania update, basically. Content Mania will be a bunch of things I want, in terms of like customization options, and as well as the things from Stream 200. Sorry, Marley, I need to get my hand back. Alright, now, the next thing. The next thing will be the Trials update, right? And I'm not sure if I'm going to split this yet or not, but I want it'll be basically like Trials and Lore, like the first update, right? Trials and Lore Part 2. But the Trials update is a bit more complicated. I want to add a system for a leaderboard, so that, because we have a lot of speedrunners in the community now. MLG, Timmy, and we have some. Rustic also did a few. I know that Coven has done a few. Coven had a speedrun strat that I am currently going to be patching out. But there's been a lot of interesting speedrun strats that have been developed throughout the time. And honestly, I'm always impressed by some of the things they do. I remember seeing Timmy's, I believe it was Timmy's like pyramid run. It is the most insane thing I've ever witnessed. But it makes me happy because that is what I wanted for the physics. It's just that, like, looking at it is like, my god, I didn't expect it to be that like leeway for you to just rush to the end, right? But the Trials update will allow for a leaderboard system, so we can have a public leaderboard. Now that public leaderboard has to be split up for a few categories. There'll be a unit scale, because there is a slight difference between every character based on their height and scale. So if your height is really tall and your scale is really tall, right, your jump will be really tall. Like, not in the sense of like you'll jump higher, but more in the sense of it'll start higher. So if your height's right here, your jump starts here. But if you scale up and height up, your jump starts there. And that's a weird advantage, or a disadvantage, depending on the trial, right? So I want to do 2 separate categories, or possibly 3 separate categories. Obviously the first category would be 1 unit, which is basically 1 scale and a normal height. And don't worry, there'll be a feature inside of the trial system where it'll automatically customize your character on the spot without saving it, so that you can qualify for that unit scale on the leaderboard. Alright, and that'll be basically the default leaderboard. That is the official one. And then there'll be any height leaderboard, no scale. So it'll be basically any height mixed in together without the scale. And then the last one is any scale, any height. Right? So 3 simple categories. I will say the Unit 1 scales will be excluded from the any height and any scale, any height, simply because I believe they should be on their own, just for use of assets, and then the rest should be anything, right? Just to see, interestingly, which trials work better, depending on the height. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends up being. But yeah, so that's the Trials update. I think that would be a good idea. That way Trials can have more of a competition aspect to it and see what people can really crank out in there. And obviously I'll have to make a system so I can see if anybody's cheating. I don't want anybody to cheat on it. But we'll see how it all goes. Now, with the Trials update, by the way, I do intend on making new trials, and the only way for us to get new trials is for new maps. So to clarify, the Trials update is not just a leaderboard system, it's possibly 1 new map to roleplay in, and then a separate server that has a trial pack. That each has its own stage that was designed for that trial specifically, you know. That way we can have bigger trials with cooler features, but not as much weight on the server, because the servers can't take that. But yeah, so I think that'll be probably my plans for the trials. I've been recording for about 30 minutes now. Yeah, I have a lot of plans. I hope you guys are okay. I hope you guys are doing well. Get yourself a nice drink. Here's the green screen shirt. I'm okay, buddy. That felt bad. Take a little smoke break. No. You're not supposed to sniff it. But yeah, so after the trials update will be the villains update, right? The villains update is the update where I will be updating the story to most of the characters that you know and plus currently. So the villains update is the part where I finish a few incomplete quests that are currently in the game. For the beast, specifically. There's one that everybody keeps asking, is like, what's with this flower? And it's like, oh right, you know, that's actually like the leftover of a quest that I just didn't complete. But I do intend on completing it still. Right, so I'll do the ending of that. I'll do a little bit of I'll actually do a little bit more of that purple statue in the forest. If you know his name, you know his name. It starts with P. I do want to do more of that. I think I might include the old forest in that, interestingly, because that would work, funny enough. But now I'm not confirming it, but I do want to include that new NPC, because if you know the story of RP mode, there's entities, right? And I did say there was an entity for Cassidy, but I never actually got to put him, and that entity is Infinitium, and I want to put him in the game. I think the villains update would be the update that includes Infinitium. I think it would be fun to have him there. So there would be an update to Cassidy in that regard as well. So there's a few things I want to do in the villains update, and I think that would be great. And maybe we'll even get finally some dialogue with Slugman, right? Because he is trapped right now, and I think in the villains update would be a bit of involving the story of how he gets out, right? I'm not going to say too much on how he gets out, just to those who know where he is, you know where he's trying to get out of. After the villains update is probably the update where I include misc ideas. But let me think this through first on what. You want to get off my lap? Here. There you go. No? Okay. I'll pull myself forward. He's pretty heavy. You keep looking at the window. You want to go to your window? Look at that. He's getting all like excited. He wants to go by your window, but he doesn't want to leave my lap. He's so spoiled. But yeah. So after the villains update, I'll probably diverge into two things, right? Misc ideas and story mode, right? Misc ideas are basically everything else, and then obviously story mode is story mode, right? So this is where everything else happens, basically. There was a few ideas for flying, and that probably just like made people be like, "You said never." I know, but now that we are further along down the line to the point where it can possibly be in the foreseeable future, I agree with the concept of once you 100% a map, you unlock flying for it. Now, what does 100% a map mean? 100%ing a map means you have all the swords, you've completed all the trials on Aquamarine, you've completed all the NPC quests, and you found all the hidden NPCs. That is what 100%ing an area means. So you only unlock flying once you complete the game, basically. Every individual map. And obviously, if I add more to a map, it'll take it away from you until you complete it again to get it again. I think that would be the only fair way to implement it. And funny enough, going with that, if you unlock flying, you will unlock unlimited. No, never mind. I was gonna say unlimited free cam, but that's only if I do the camera model on the free cam. So we'll see. That was a good idea that I believe Rustic brought up during the stream, and I agreed with it. Or maybe it was Coven's idea? I'm terrible. I'm sorry. But yeah, so main point though is once you 100% a map, you unlock flying. Another misc idea. Okay, Marley, I do want you to get off my lap because I'm going to get deep into these misc ideas. Here, go by your window, buddy. I know you want to. There, go by your window. Okay. I'll open the window for you. How about that? Come on. Okay. The window fell on me. Okay. So, one of the misc ideas that I've had from the start for years, right? And it's something I keep mentioning to people, right? And they're like, on a rare occasion. I think it's to Coven I mentioned it the most. I'm not sure if I mentioned it to Ghost, though. I think I did once in like a fever dream. But, one of the ideas I wanted to add is customizable animals. Clarify, not pets. Mainly like rabbits, squirrels, boars. Animals that'll probably show up in story mode for Pulse. And I know that Pulse is not canon to story mode. I mean to RP mode. Pulse is not canon to RP mode. But I think it'd be nice. And these would be on their separate files and would have way less customization for it. Basically, just customization for the sake of being able to roleplay as a little like bunny and experience the world of Pulse through a different perspective. I think that would just be fun. That's something I've wanted since the start, but I never got the time to do it. Sorry, I'm doing that thing. I wanted to, sorry. I want to incorporate pets at some point. Like actual pets. But it'll be kind of interesting. It's not going to be pets in the same way that you probably imagine, where it's like, oh, you have like... It's not going to be like... It's not going to be Pet Sim. Instead, it's going to be similar to Magic, where if you buy a pet, you'll get an egg, and the egg will immediately hatch into the same creature. Right? You can only buy one egg. Nobody gets more than one egg. Everybody starts off with one egg. You hatch that egg, it turns into a pink blob. Call it a pouring if you want to. I love pourings, but no, it'll just be a pink blob. Why pink? I think it's the most friendliest color. Now, using specific tokens, you can upgrade this pet to be different things. So if you want like a little spike urchin ball, it'll be a spike urchin ball, right? And eventually further down the line you can get things like a giant like phoenix bird. Right? So I'm just saying. That's my point. Is you'll be able to oh, you can't even see it. Here, you'll be able to like upgrade it to different things, right? So that's kind of what I want for pets. I think that'd probably be the most fairest way to do them. That way I can always add more down the line if I wanted to. But the next thing I wanted to do in misc ideas, right? And these will probably all be updates of their own, to clarify, right? It's not like these are all going to come out at once. Right, so Maybe I should just like shrink myself a bit here. There we go. Right. So the next thing I would like to do after pets is but here is where it's like now it's like I guess now I just like work on story mode, right? I believe there was one more thing. There was one more thing I wanted to do. I'm trying to remember it. Oh, right. Animated accessories. Though this might come out before everything else. Right, so this might come out, like, before flying. Or maybe after flying. Probably after flying, before customizable animals. Right, so customizable animated accessories are basically just accessories that have an animated effect to them. Not like auras, but like if you have like a pair of wings, the wings might actually move and like flap when you're in the air kind of thing. So that's basically animated accessories. And you'll be able to move them around. Interestingly, I might be able to make like specific things return through animated accessories. So like for example, people ask animated foxtail. I could probably put in an animated accessory foxtail. Obviously, since animated accessories are probably going to be a lot more heavy to make, I might end up making them a bit more pricier, obviously, but I'll definitely try to keep them fair. And then story mode, which thankfully we're coming to an end here on all of my plans here, right? And we'll see how far we get along this list, right? There was one more thing I forgot to put in here. Shit, and I don't even have space for it. And I just remembered. And it's something that people wanted as well. Colorable weapons. I do at one point, I don't know when, I can't promise when I'll do it. Right? I want to go over the weapons and make them all colorable. And implement that into the system so you can have colorable weapons. I think that's the right and fair thing to do. So, I hope that you guys are looking forward to that. It's going to be a while. Also, to answer the dual wielding thing, the only way for dual wielding to ever arrive is if it comes at the very, very bitter end. Because it's a lot to do it. So that's not something that I'm going to promise, but it is something that I'm keeping in mind that you guys do want, and it's not something I can say I can do, but it's something I want to say I can try to do. Now, story mode. Sorry. Story mode is going to be a bit complicated because it's going to be not all at once. There is no way in heaven or hell I could ever release story mode fully. That's never going to happen because story mode is going to be a bit of a long-term project for me. Story mode is a story. I'm literally giving you guys a story with story mode. I want to make chapters. I want it not in this, not those chapters. What I mean by chapter is like updating the game, so that includes more. So, kind of like a manga, where you'll get chapter 1, which is one story, and then you get chapter 2, and it just keeps going, right? I want to make Pulse in a way where I can make a nice chapter 1, which will involve Crucible, the very start of his life, what happens to him, and then jump cut to Siska. Her life, going through some quests, learning the mechanics. There'll be a little tutorial so you can learn the tools and mechanics. And then going all the way, doing NPC side quests, and then going to visit something, attacking some enemies, animals, along the way. Animals that are aggressive. Don't worry, she doesn't kill anything. And then, that stuff happens, right? And then she leaves. And then she gets to do more things, a little interesting, explore the island stuff. And then afterwards, you'll get a mission, and that's where chapter 1 will end. And then chapter 2 will basically just be an update that unlocks the next NPC so that you can continue on the story. And you'll be able to explore the island as much as you want until the next chapter arrives, right? So that everybody can enjoy that. Yeah, so that's my plans for story mode chapter 1. I hope that's simple. Chapter 2 will be about Siska going across the ocean to meet up with a person that she was assigned to meet up with, right? And she'll meet a friend along the way. And but you know, to meet up with that person, she discovers something happened, and she and this friend that she meets along the way will have to solve some mysteries by exploring, attacking some things, fighting, maybe a boss fight, and then finally saving that other person. So I do have like the storyline planned out. It's just that the only way for me to get there is to get through here. Right? Something I might end up doing somewhere along this path, for the sake of being able to keep myself afloat for story mode, possibly like in between here, I might set up a Patreon, or I might set up the Discord server to be monetized, so that I can tease specific models being made for the story mode and working with it on that. Because I don't want to be flat while I'm working on story mode, right? So that's my plans. But yeah, I hope that I could answer everybody's thoughts here on like what I am doing with Pulse. I hope that you guys can understand that these things take time. It's not something that's going to be made in a month, 2 months, 3 months. It might take a year. I'm hoping not, because obviously, as I said, I want to have the time to do the things I want to do in life. I don't want to be sitting here every day. So I hope you guys are excited for what I have planned. I hope you guys understand my thoughts. I hope you guys look forward to what I have. And I hope that when the time comes to fully dive into story mode without worrying about everything else, people will be excited. Anyways, that's all I have to say. I hope everybody's been doing well. And I hope that we can be happy, right? I think something that I'm a little bit saddened by nowadays is I noticed nowadays a lot specifically is, sorry to just throw this in at the end, I guess this will be my final thoughts on the state of our world, right? So after all that, I might as well just cap it off with what I'm thinking. I think these past maybe like 22 months, right? A year and 10 months maybe. There's been an influx in just like something that's like pride to hate. There's been so much people who take pride in hating things, and I don't get that anymore. And the sad thing is, I honestly felt kind of like I was doing the same thing. There's been many times where it's like I see something I hate and I rushed to talk about it because I hated it. And it's like, yeah, this thing is stupid. Look at this thing that makes this thing stupid. It doesn't help anyone. And it just... There's a lot of things... And I'm not talking about like things that affect your life, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things that are very justified to hate. But there's things that don't matter at all, you know? And I mean like music, designs, movies, stories, drawings, characters. It's like people want to make a stand for something to win some like brownie points because they hate something. And honestly, I also did the same thing. I don't know exactly, I can't tell you exactly why I was doing them back then, because to be honest, my memory's shot, you know. I don't exactly remember what inspires me to do or say specific things. I have a friend tell me I told them something and I'd be like, what? I did? So, but it's like, why is that a thing that we're okay with? I don't know. Like, these things don't affect anyone in any way. Any meaningful way. To clarify. It might affect you on something super small, but is that really justification to be so happy that you hate it? I don't know, it's... I just think I hope to see less of that in the future, and I'm definitely gonna work to not contribute or to... not to contribute or to inspire people into doing such things, because I don't think that's anything I'm okay with. So I'm gonna see if going into the future I can do right by everyone to try to make everyone happy without pushing anyone down. I don't think we have to push other people down to be happy, right? Now, obviously, if somebody attacks someone, I think you should push them back down. How dare you? You're not supposed to be violent or aggressive. But if it's something that's super meaningless to you and doesn't really affect you, I think we should move on from that. But anyways, that's just my thoughts. I hope everybody had a great time here. Sorry for holding you guys for a total of 50 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm gonna walk my dog now. Hope you all had a great time. I'm going to be streaming later tonight. I'm gonna walk him. I'm probably gonna get something to eat, and then I'll be live. Probably be making the shop UI. Anyways, peace out everybody, and thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a lovely time, and Happy New Year. Bye.